First at noon, President Trump is getting ready for his high-stakes meeting tomorrow with Russian President Vladimir Putin, where the #1 topic will be the war in Ukraine. Now, the one-on-one talks are set to take place at a military base near Anchorage, Alaska. Willie James Inman is in Anchorage with the latest.
President Trump says Russian President Vladimir Putin does not want to mess with him ahead of their face-to-face meeting Friday to discuss ending the war in Ukraine.
I think that President Putin would like to see a deal. I think if I weren't president, he would take over all of Ukraine.
The president once again stressed that the more important meeting will be one that includes Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky.
I think President Putin will make peace. I think President Zelensky will make peace. We'll see if they can get along.
When asked if he will offer Putin access to rare minerals in exchange for ending the conflict, President Trump said, "We're going to see what happens."
The two leaders will meet for the first time since 2019 at Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson outside of Anchorage. But going again, many see the summit as a win for Putin.
For Putin, it's his opportunity to try to strengthen that bond with President Trump.
Andrea Kendall Taylor is a former U.S. intelligence official who specialized in Russia.
I think to me this summit is first and foremost Putin's ploy to buy more time as he continues a major offensive in Ukraine's east and continues to pummel Ukrainian cities.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky met with the British Prime Minister Thursday to discuss tomorrow's meeting. Ukraine is not part of the summit, but European leaders have urged President Trump to push for a full ceasefire before discussing exchanging any territory. Willie James Inman, CBS News, Anchorage, Alaska.
Meanwhile, California Governor Gavin Newsom is moving forward with a plan to redraw the state's congressional maps. Newsom today called for a special election on November 4th to put the new maps before voters. The redistricting effort would help Democrats win 5 additional House seats in the nation's most populous state. Now, the Democratic governor made the move to counter a plan in Texas, where lawmakers are redrawing maps to try to send 5 more Republicans to Washington. Here at home, a 22-year-old man is dead after an early morning crash on the H1 in Kalihi. This happened near the Middle Street overpass this morning. Police believe the man was speeding on a motorcycle when he lost control and hit the guardrail. He was rushed to the hospital in critical condition, but later died of his injuries. This is now Oahu's 51st traffic death of the year, up almost double from the 26th at this point in 2024. Convicted child predator Dwayne Yuen will learn his fate today when he's sentenced for sexually abusing 10 girls while he was coaching basketball at Punahou from 2005 to 2023. Yuen pleaded guilty in December to 12 offenses that could put him behind bars for the rest of his life. The counts include sex trafficking, coercion and enticement, child pornography, exploitation, and harassment. Yuen faces a mandatory minimum of 15 years and a max of 144. The feds are also asking for a lifetime supervision if he's granted release, as well as restitution. We're learning more about the suspect in that horrific acid attack in Chinatown last week. Take a good look at this police sketch. HPD says this is the man who threw acid on a 30-year-old cook near the intersection of Hotel and Smith Streets. It happened Friday night just after 11:30. We also have surveillance pictures showing the suspect in a blue long-sleeve hoodie with a dry-fit shirt, black pants, and shoes. He was also wearing a black backpack and black frame glasses and carrying a hydro flask.
The victim himself was suffering from his injuries, so he was unable to provide us with a statement immediately. And the witnesses, there was some language barrier, which we had to rely on interpreters. So it was a little bit of more of a process than something we would deal with where people were open and they would be able to tell us a lot.
The victim is still in serious condition. Anyone with tips is asked to call Crime Stoppers at the number on your screen or use the P3 Tips app. A Kalihi family is grieving for a young father who was shot and killed in Wahiawa on Saturday. Ben Gutierrez spoke with the former McKinley student's mother, who says he was trying to protect his own child.
You tell my son to fix anything, to do anything, Devon's gonna get it done.
Cecilia Peter calls her son Devon a Mr. Fix-It. She says he had just finished repairing her closet on Saturday when his ex-girlfriend called, saying she needed him to move her and their 4-year-old son out of their house at the Wahiawa annex of Joint Base Pearl Harbor-Hickam to escape an abusive husband.
He was trying to protect her from him beating her, or according to her, that's what she gets. She gets beatings. Devon came out of the car, I guess trying to protect her, and the guy pulled the gun and told Devon, I'm not scared to use it, and shot my son.
The Army says the shooting suspect, a soldier with the 25th Infantry Division, is in custody, but officials haven't disclosed his name or what happened. PETA is still waiting for permission to see her son's remains at the medical examiner's office.
I just want to see him, it's never a closure, but I just want to see my son.
Meantime, PETA wants the world to know her son loved having fun and enjoyed fishing with his brothers. He also drove a used BMW that now sits in her driveway. He was waiting for parts so he could fix it.
He was only 23. His birthday is tomorrow. We were just planning his birthday.
Now Devon's family has started a GoFundMe page to pay for his funeral, and they want justice done.
This was my to-go guy. This is the guy that when I need, I go to him. People have no right to play God. Just no right to do that.
Ben Gutierrez, Hawaii News Now.
A busy week for firefighters on Maui as multiple wildfires have been popping across the island in recent days. Here's a new picture of a brush fire that broke out in Kahului last night. Flames started up just before 9 p.m. near the Maui Lani Latter-day Saints Church. It took crews nearly 3 hours to put it out. Thankfully, no evacuations or road closures were needed. And following a fire Monday morning, the Kula Lodge is now canceling and refunding all customer reservations. The owners say flames destroyed the restaurant and an electrical meter that serves nearby cottages. So far, no timeline on when power will be restored. The fire's cause is still under investigation. An effort to clear wildfire hazards in West Maui led to a dispute over homeless rights and ended with 7 people in handcuffs. Chelsea Davis has both sides.
Maui police officers walk into a property in Ukumehame Wednesday afternoon toward homeless advocates who say those living near mile marker 13.5 have a right to be here. The county says the area is a fire risk, and this project to clear the area, led by the Maui Emergency Management Agency, aims to protect lives, property, and the only highway connecting Central and West Maui. Police say these individuals were asked to leave but refused, so they were arrested. 7 people were arrested for trespassing and obstructing government operations. Loved ones waited to bail them out at MPD headquarters in Wailuku.
I am upset. I really am, because of my son being arrested. And the same here, her son is being arrested. So there's a mother bear inside of me.
And it was unjust arrest. There is no lawful point of being arrested today. Now they have my child. So of course I'm going to worry.
MPD says at the request of the county, officers responded to a designated fire mitigation area where crews were conducting scheduled operations to reduce wildfire risk. They said several individuals entered the active work zone and positioned themselves in a manner that interfered with the safe operation of heavy equipment. County officials say over the past 2 years, this site has experienced 12 wildfires fueled by dense invasive vegetation and hazardous materials. So they're reducing these risks by removing flammable Russian trees, clearing trash and abandoned vehicles, and replanting native species. The hazardous items being removed include 160 abandoned vehicles, more than 50 loose lithium-ion batteries, more than 200 tires, 20 motorcycles, and 50-gallon drum tanks with unknown substances. There are also paint and gas cans, washer dryers, couches, mattresses, solar panels, and even a delivery truck, a 20-foot boat, and a minibus.
My specific responsibility is related to wildfire risk. As an emergency management administrator, my job is to identify threats, hazards, and risks and do whatever within my power and authorities to remove those threats, hazards, and risks. In this particular area, it's wildfire risk.
Gwen Brown has lived here for 15 years.
I can speak for everybody out here. If we had some place to go, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have been here in the first place. I have no family on the island.
County officials tell us a contract has been awarded for the Safe Parking Pilot Program, where homeless people can sleep in their cars while being connected to vital support services. They say it will be up and running in a few months. They also say they intend to move forward with another pilot project for a managed encampment. Reporting in Ukumehame, I'm Chelsea Davis for Hawaii News Now.
And happy Thursday, everybody. We're almost to Aloha Friday, almost to the weekend. We've got lighter winds out there right now. We're actually seeing east and southeasterly winds around 10 miles per hour. It's a little bit warm out there, around 87 degrees. Expanding this out throughout the rest of this evening, you'll notice our temperatures are going to get down to around 78 degrees by midnight tonight. So a little bit toasty overnight, a little bit warm out there because of all the humidity. Again, we've got weaker winds out there. A very weak upper level disturbance is moving across the state. As we speak, we'll see some more cloud cover and a better chance for showers out there. And it's still warm. Our high temperatures have been pretty hot out there. Yesterday on August 13th, the high temperature in town was around 88 degrees, but it felt a lot warmer because of the humidity out there. It still feels a lot warmer outside right now. In Kailua Kona, it's 86 degrees and it feels like 91. I'll give you a full breakdown of our weekend forecast coming up.
Thank you, Drew. Ahead on This Is Now, video of a mid-air scare. An unruly passenger forces a flight from Virginia to Los Angeles to make an emergency landing. Plus, the University of Hawaii reaches a major funding milestone. Casey Lund has the details in 2 minutes. Heads up for drivers in Manoa. You can expect some delays around UH starting tomorrow. More than 3,500 students will start moving into the dorms. The university says there will be more congestion through next week Friday. Fall semester classes start on Monday, August 25th. Meanwhile, UH is celebrating a major milestone today, breaking records for extramural funding. We're learning how millions in grants are making a difference in everything from Maui wildfire recovery to protecting native species. Casey Lund has the details on what this means for our state.
And to talk a little bit about what that extramural funding record will mean across the University of Hawaii campus system and really for our entire state, I want to bring on some special guests here. We have, if I can find them, somebody that you may recognize And that is a coconut rhinoceros beetle. Gross looking things. I also have another special guest, Suzanne Case. She is the director of the UH Systems Office of Land and Ocean Conservation Futures, a relatively new office. I want to talk about this, but I think jumping off with our friends here, the coconut rhinoceros beetle is a good place to start when we talk about invasive species and the research that happens right here at the University of Hawaii and how this funding really can change the quality of life for people in the state.
Yeah, we are very lucky to have a great grant to study how the university can set up research facilities to help control invasive species that are out of control. Our office is a relatively new office set up by Dr. Vasilis Sermos in 2023 to ensure that the university is serving Hawaii and the Pacific as best as possible in conservation, in research and education and fieldwork.
And a couple of new opportunities that you've created through your office. Tell me a little bit about those.
Yes, we're running this week and next week a 2-week intensive for conservation graduate students and conservation early professionals to learn all the other things you need to know, I say, about how to manage conservation programs. So it's not the biology side, it's the budgets, HR grants,
politics,
administrative procedure, environmental law, all that kind of stuff. And so we have 22 students, and it's taught by great people at the university and around town in different locations. So we're very excited about that. It's running right now. We also run the Army Natural Resource Program, Oahu, which is a program of 50 biologists and technicians that are doing research, monitoring, and field work on Army installations and other sites around Oahu to really make sure that the training that the Army does is not harming our ecosystem. So they're protecting endangered species and controlling invasive species.
Suzanne Case with us, thank you so much. And back out here, I want to bring these guys on again and actually show the larva because there's something that should be noted about these. People have been finding these in all sorts of places. What should they do if they come across a coconut rhinoceros beetle larva? And is there an opportunity to reach out to your office? What's the protocol? Folks,
well, first of all, you want to make sure that you see this and make sure it doesn't get away, right? So, because you don't want it to hatch, you don't want it to spread, and you want to, wherever what you got came from, let them know that it has this in it, because we need to stop spreading this, and just make sure it doesn't spread further. We have, unfortunately, all kinds of infestations on Oahu, but if you see this on another island, called the Coconut Rhinoceros Beetle Response Team or the Island Invasive Species Committees and report it, because we want to catch it before it spreads.
You got to take everybody because it's already spreading. Suzanne Case with us again. Thank you so much. We have all the details if you want to get in touch and learn more about what they're doing through her office. And of course, reporting invasive species like the coconut rhinoceros beetle. Those resources at HawaiiNewsNow.com. We'll send things back into the studio for now.
Thank you, Case. New video shows an unruly passenger on board a cross-country flight. Now he faces criminal charges. Chris Van Cleve has more.
Applause for police after they arrested and removed a man from a Breeze Airways flight. The airline says he started an altercation with the crew Wednesday.
Yeah, unruly passenger is free out of his restraint. He's removed his belt trying to hit people.
The disruption forced the flight to divert to Grand Junction, Colorado, while en route from Norfolk, Virginia to Los Angeles.
Hey, drop the skateboard.
The FBI identified the passenger as 46-year-old David Leroy Carter. Local police say he allegedly waved his skateboard and shouted racial slurs at flight attendants while intoxicated. Airline staff allegedly tried to restrain him twice, but he broke free both times.
He was saying racial slurs, he was being loud, and I didn't know he attacked anybody until I saw the news afterwards.
This video shows another passenger force Carter back into his seat.
The linebacker dude that was sitting in 17th seat literally picked this man up underneath his armpits and put him down.
That man spoke to CBS News Los Angeles.
My son was on there, and there was other kids on there, and so I just had to, sit him down.
Investigators say while charges are pending, it does not appear Carter physically assaulted anyone. So far this year, the FAA says there have been over 1,000 incidents of disruptive passengers, but they have been on the decline since 2021. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News.
And stick around. Coming up after the break, we've got your full First Alert forecast and your 7-day forecast. Stick around. The details coming up.
First Alert weather with Drew Davis.
Boy, oh boy, the weekend is almost here, everybody. Here's what we're tracking going forward over the next couple of days in our First Alert forecast. Of course, we've had somewhat breezy trade winds out there the past couple of days. Those are going to get stronger as we go into Thursday and Friday. Breezy conditions expected this weekend, and a small south swell is going to also build in Friday night throughout Saturday and Sunday. We'll get to all of that coming up in a bit, but I do want to just take you out to our First Alert futurecast. We've got some clouds building up over the eastern half of the state as we're going into Friday or Thursday night into early Friday morning. A few showers possible out there, but overall not as much rainfall. It's the dry season out there. We've got windward and Malka showers on deck, but really we're going to be drying out a little bit this weekend. Maybe some showers possible going to be over windward areas, but overall very typical pattern. You can see on our First Alert radar and satellite as well, there's that band of clouds that we were talking about, also seeing clouds building up over near Hawaii Island. Let's take it island by island. A few showers actually building up along the Waianae mountain range, not much over the windward side. Moving over to Maui County, some showers moving just north of Molokai. We could see some of those showers make its way to eastern Oahu and maybe over the windward side of the island as well. And then, of course, here on Hawaii Island, we're seeing some showers also moving in over near Lower Puna. Over on Kauai, we are not really seeing much rainfall, some clouds building up over the Mauka areas. You can see in our winds outside, overall easterly flow. We're actually seeing southeasterly winds in town around 10 miles per hour, northeasterly winds in Kahului around 22 miles per hour, northerly over in Hilo. And again, these are going to get a little bit breezier as we're going forward. You can see in our windcast, you can see overall northeasterly flow continues into Thursday afternoon. It's still a little bit weaker than what we were seeing earlier this week around Tuesday and Wednesday. And again, winds are going to get stronger on Saturday and Sunday. And once again, the fire danger threat will be building in going into the weekend and beyond because of those breezy trades. It's already relatively dry out there. We've reached that critical fire threshold. Our surf and shoreline forecast, northwest and south facing shores all dropping, east facing shores around 4 to 6 feet, a little bit of a slight uptick. Again, we are tracking a small south swell that's going to be building in as we're going into this weekend. You could see it. It's very quick pulse, not much in terms of waves compared to what we were seeing over this past weekend where we had that high surf advisory. And of course, I want to take you out to the Atlantic. The Eastern Pacific and the Central Pacific have been relatively quiet over the last couple of weeks, but the National Hurricane Center forecasters are watching what could soon be Major Hurricane Erin. Again, it might potentially curve back out into the Atlantic. There's still a lot of uncertainty when it comes to this forecast. It could even potentially impact parts of the eastern coast of the United States. So we're watching that very closely to see how that could impact the continental U.S. Thursday and Friday. Friday is Statehood Day. Still warm out there. High temperatures just around 90 degrees. A few showers possible during the beginning of this week, but a lot of sunshine sticking around.
Thank you, Drew. Still to come, alcohol consumption in the U.S. drops to a 90-year record low. We'll tell you why in 2 minutes.
Time for some good news now. Krispy Kreme is releasing an enchanting new donut collection just for Harry Potter fans. Each of the 4 Hogwarts houses have their own spectacular flavors. Gryffindor, for example, has a cookie buttercream cookie crumble with red and gold icing and the Gryffindor crest. The special donuts will be available starting Monday. And Americans are now drinking alcohol at the lowest level in decades.
That's because the majority of people believe moderate drinking is unhealthy. A new Gallup poll found just 54% of U.S. adults said they drink alcohol, the lowest number reported in the poll's history. Now it comes as a record 53% of Americans said drinking, even in moderation, is bad for your health. Researchers also noted a steep decline in drinking among young people from 59% in 2023 to 50% today.
I've definitely noticed that among my younger friends.
Yeah, your generation is very healthy.
Yes.
Good for you guys.
Go us. Go us.
Thanks for watching.